Okay, welcome back to the Carp Care series. This one here, the product I'm going to show you is a camera. Now, has nothing to do with Carp Care, but how I have this set up is really important with Carp Care. Because you don't want to be fiddling around with your camera after you have the fish out. You want everything set up and good to go. And I'm going to walk you through a few different choices that I've used through the years. So let's pretend we have a fish on here. I put my water on it. And I fold it over my sling, and then I pull back my tracker mat. And like I said, this has Velcro the whole way around it. So even if that's a really large fish and it tries to flop, it's really padded, and then also it's not going to be able to pull apart that Velcro. So that way it's not going to go down the bank, because you can see right now we got some pretty big rocks everywhere, and we don't want the fish flopping on that because it's definitely going to tear up the scales. So once we have the fish secure, basically all I have to do is go back and turn on my camera and we're good to go. Now right now I did upgrade to a DSLR of a Canon. It has a self timer, so all I have to do is turn on the camera, hit my self timer, and come back. The first thing I do before I even get here is I'll go back to my camera, I'll flip the screen, which I'll show you right now. And just so you guys can see what I'm doing, like I turn on my camera, obviously take off the lens cap, and I'll just show you from behind, but usually what I do is I'll have this viewfinder flip the other way. That way I can see when I bend over and look at it. All I do is hold up my mat, that way I can adjust it so I'm in the frame, and then you can see like right there, my head's I have a nice gap in between there, that way everything's going to be in the frame. And I go in front of my mat here, bend over like I have a fish, and hold up my hands. And I'm just going to give another 3/4 foot on both ends for the tail, and then also the head. And then I kind of position myself, and I know my camera's in the proper spot. That way once I get a fish, all I have to do is turn it on, and just hit the self timer, and I'm good to go. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So let's say I have a fish, I already Velcroed this like I just told you. I'm going to run back to my camera right now. And usually I have the viewfinder towards me. But I'm going to have it back so the camera can see it. And I have my self timer here set up, so I just hit start. I run back to the fish. And I flip it forward here, open that up, I'll dump water on again, I pick up the fish, just take your time, because I set mine for 30 seconds, and I go to pick it up, and before too long, it's going to start taking photos. And as you can see in my viewfinder there, I'm centered, and it probably just shows it real quick, but you can see every photo I'm in the frame, and I know when I get home I'm going to have some really good fish photos. Okay, I'll let that run out, but obviously a DSLR is a very expensive camera. I saved up for a very long time for that. Now another great option is also made by Canon. Any of their cameras, their point and shoot cameras, which cost say $50 and up, look for the option that has a self timer, a custom self timer. Mine before, it waited 30 seconds, and then it would take 10 photos every roughly 1 to 2 seconds. That way it gives you enough time to come back to the mat, pick up the fish, and then it's going to take 10 photos for you consecutively. Now being at night, it gives maybe a little bit longer just till it adjusts, maybe 2 to 3 seconds in between each photo. During the day it's pretty quick, it goes 1 through 10 pretty fast. But to get really good quality photos, I would definitely recommend like a Canon point and shoot, or if you can afford a DSLR, it's definitely the way to go. And like I said, all this is set up before the fish even comes onto the mat here. So just wanted to show you how I set up my camera equipment as well, because that's a very important part of Carp Care too, because if your stuff's not set up, that's longer that the fish is going to be out of the water, and more stressful on the fish. So I hope you enjoy this part of the Carp Care series, and more to come.